Hey guys, Mr. Burns here with your video for lesson 3.3, % of a number. By the end of this video, I want you guys to be able to find the percent of a number. Many real-world situations involve percents. So starting off at the left and working our way to the right. So it says 25% off the marked price. You might see a sign like that. 60% of the student body had perfect attendance this week. Stocks were up 2.85 or 2.8% today. A score of 89% on a test. 30% ownership in the company. A double number line can be used to solve percent problems. For example, if Mrs. Larson's sixth grade class has 30 students in it, that would represent 100% of the class. The double number line can be filled in using ratio reasoning. Since 30 is 100% of the class, an equivalent rate is that 3 is 10% of the class. The remainder of the line can be filled out using the rate. So what they're doing here is on the top part of this double number line, you've got students, okay? And then on the bottom part of the double number line, you've got percents, so students and percent. So this is kind of like a unit rate that we talked about. So 3% or 3 students, K is 10% of the class. 6%, K is 20%, 6%. 6 students is 20%. 9 students is 30% of the class, and so on and so forth. All right, so that's one way you can use a double number line. In example number 1 says, what is 60% of 45? Use a double number line to support your answer. So the solution says the whole, 100%, is 45. So on the top part of the number line, you've got your part, you've got your percent. The highest number on the top part of the number line is 45. That's where it ends. And since the highest you can get is 100%, that's going to be on the bottom part of the number line. So 45 is 100%. And if you look at the double number line, so 4.5 is your smallest number, and that represents 10%. And then if you look at the bottom part goes up by increments of 10%. So 1 times 2 is 20. 10 times 2 is 20. 10 times 3 is 30. 10 times 4 is 40, and so on. And then you do the same thing on the top part of the number line. So it would be 4.5 times 2 would be that number. 4.5 times 3 would be this number. 4.5 times 3, 4 would be this number. 4.5 times 5 would be this number, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's how you can also set up your numbers. Okay, and fill out your double number line. And then what they do there in the green box, it says since 60% is 6 times 10, then 4.5 is also multiplied by 6, which gets you 27. Okay, so 60%, okay, of 45 is 27. All right, let's take a look at the next page. Another method for finding percents of numbers is to use fractions or decimals. This is what I'm most comfortable with, so this is kind of like my bread and butter. It makes sense to me. So example number 2 says blank is 25% of 80. The word, and then the green box here, it breaks it down for you. So a little bit of an English lesson for you. So the word of in math means multiply. That's what this is all about. In math, the word is means equal. So like I've suggested before, what I would recommend you guys do is pause the video and look over the solution where for this situation where it says 25% of 80 is whatever. So what I would do is I would pause the video. Okay, I would pause the video and see how they solve it and see how they explain it and see if that makes sense to you. On the bottom, it says, in some cases, using decimals may be the most efficient method if the numbers in the problem are not easily converted to fractions or represented on a double number line. So this is the way I do it. And like I said, converting everything to decimals, okay, makes it a little bit easier for me, and it's a little bit easier for me to explain, so that's why I stick with it. But what I would do is I would suggest you guys stop at example number 3 and read it. Okay, it says the price of gasoline this week is 108% of the price last week. Find the price of gasoline this week if gasoline was $2.50 per gallon last week. So if the price of a gallon of gas was $2.50 last week, and then this week it's 108%, okay, using common sense, the highest you can quote ever get on anything without extra credit is 100%, right? So if the price of the gas increased to 108%, is it going to be more or less than whatever the price was last week, in this case $2.50? So use some common sense, right? So anyway, again, pause the video, look through the solution, read through it, okay, analyze it, study it, and hopefully it'll make some sense to you. But let's go ahead and dive right into the tiered lesson. Okay, so here we are in the tiered lesson, percent of a number. So I'm going to break a little bit from the norm and what was done on the other page, and I'm going to explain it a little bit better, I think, for you guys. But I'm going to zoom in and show you guys how I find the percent of a number. If you don't have a calculator, I would suggest you guys get up and get yourself a calculator, and let's get crack-a-lacking on this stuff. So number one, zooming in. Okay, so on number one, it says find 50% of 100. So this is what I tell my students to do. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take your percent, you want to take your percent and convert it to a decimal. So to change a percent into a decimal, you have to go 50 out of 100. 50%, the word percent, okay, means out of 100. So 50%. So when you do this on a calculator, go 50 divided by 100 on your calculator, and you should come up with 0.5. Right? So that's the first thing you do. So convert your percent to a decimal just like that. Now the word of, if you remember, the word of means multiply. So I'm going to take 0.5 of $1. Okay, so when I go 0.5 times $1, I come up with 0.5 on the calculator. You should. Now, pop quiz hotshots, is this 50 cents or is this 5 cents? Half of a dollar is 50 cents, so you have to put the 0 at the end. That's 50 cents. Okay, so there you go. That's number one. Let's take a look at number two. So number two says find 90% of $1. So same as number one. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my percent and convert it into a decimal. So I'm going to go 90 over 100. And then on my calculator, I'm going to go the numerator, 90, divided by my denominator, 100. And I get 0.9. So you got to take your percent and convert it to a decimal first. Now I'm going to take 0.9, which is the same thing as 90%, of, which means multiply, $1. So on your calculators, okay, when you go 0.9 times $1, you should come up with 0.9 on your calculators. Now, same thing, pop quiz hotshots, is this 9 cents or is this 90 cents? It's 90 cents. And don't forget your label. All right, number three. Okay, so number three, it says solve each percent problem. So number three, we've got 10% of 50 is. So here we go. So 10%, how they got 0.1 is they took 10%, they took 10. Okay, put that over 100, and then divided 10 by 100, which gives us 0.1 on our calculator. So that's how they came up with 0.1. Of means multiply. 50 is 50, and the word is, okay, is your equal sign. So now on your calculator, go 0.1 times 50, and you should come up with 5. So 10% of 50 is 5. All right, number four. On number four, you've got blank is 5% of 20. So what they do here is they change it up for you just a little bit. Okay, so they put the is in front. So is still is your equal sign, 5%, they got 0.05. So same thing, trust but verify. So in this case, I get 5 over 100. On your calculator, please check. Go 5 divided by 100. And you should come up with 0.05. Trust but verify, right? Of means multiply, and then 20 is 20. So go on your calculator, go 0.05 times 20, and you should come up with 1. So 1 is 5% of 20. All right, on to number 5. On number 5, we've got 15% of 80 is blank. So here we go. So 15% as a decimal, I'm going to go 15 over 100 is equal to 15 divided by 100, which is equal to 0.15. So I'm going to go 0.15 of means multiply. 80 is, so on your calculator, go 0.15 times 8, and you should come up with 12. So 15% of 80 is 12. All right, now on to number 6. On number 6, we've got 25% of 40 is. So 25% to, Mr. Burns, is 0.25. So we've got 0.25 of means multiply. 40 is 40 is what? So on our calculator, 0.25 times 40 should be 10. So 25% of 40 is 10. All right, number 7. Okay, so on number 7, we've got blank is 200% of 30. So let's go ahead and take the percent, 200. Divide that by 100. On our calculators, it'll look like this. 200 divided by 100 is 2. And then we're going to go 2 of 30. So 2 times 30 is 60. So 60 is 200% of 30. On number 8. Okay, so on number 8, I'm going to modify number 8 just a touch. And let's say instead of 33 and 1/3%, we're just going to say 33%. Okay, so we get rid of that. All right, just like before, we're going to go 33%. So 33 over 100. And that's equal to 33 divided by 100, which is the same thing as 0.33. So we're going to take 0.33 of 66 is, not 60, 66 is, and then when we do that on our calculator, we should come up with, I believe, 22. So trust but verify. So 33% of 66 is 22. Alrighty, on to number 9. On number 9, we've got 75% of 40 is blank. So here we go. Same thing, 75 over 100 is 75 divided by 100. Getting ahead of myself here. On our calculators, we got 75 divided by 100. That's 0.75. So 75% is the same as 0.75 of means multiply. 40 is 40 and is. So on our calculators, 0.75, so 0.75 times 40 is 30. So 75% of 40 is 30. Okay, on to number 10. Okay, so on number 10, we got blank is 22% of 100. So we got to take 22%. Put that over 100. Same thing as 22%. So now we're going to go 22 divided by 100. And 22 divided by 100 is 0.22, or 22 hundredths. Now we're going to take 22 hundredths, which is the same as 22%. We're going to multiply that, which is of 100. And 0.22 of 100 is 22. So 22 is 22% of 100. Okay, let's take a look at number 11. All right, so 100% of 45 is, yeah, let's use our common sense here. 45. But you know me, I'm going to make you do the work. So here we go. 100% over 100. Okay. Take the numerator, divide it by the denominator. So 100 divided by 100 is 1. 1 is the same as 100%. Okay, of 45 is, okay, common sense. Okay, basic math facts. Okay, 100% of 45 is, you got it, 45. Moving on to 12. All right, so here we go, guys, with numbers 12 through 16. So numbers 12 through 16 are going to be kind of a, almost like a review of the last section when we talked about conversion, right? So here we go. It's going to take a little bit of explanation, so hopefully it'll make sense to you guys as I go through it. So for number 12, there are blank centimeters in 1 meter. That's 100. That's kind of a review from the last section. So there's 100 meters or 100 centimeters in 1 meter. And then it says 40. Okay, so 40 centimeters. So let's write this over here. So 40 centimeters is what percent of 1 meter? So in order to solve this, we have to divide both sides by 1. Okay, so that way we isolate that percentage all by itself. So multiplying by 1, dividing by 1 cancels out. So it's going to be 40 divided by 1. It's the same thing as 40. And since we solved that, 40 is the percent, okay, that we're looking for. So 40 centimeters is 40% of 1 meter. I know, it's pretty simple. It's kind of deceptively simple, I guess, on that one. Then on number 14 gets kind of funky for us. So here we go. So we got 75%, so I'm going to try to write this underneath it. So 75% of 1 meter is how many centimeters? Okay, so in this one, we've got a little bit of calculation to do. So just like before, 75% is the same thing as 75 over 100, which is the same thing as 0.75. And we're going to multiply that by 1, which is 0.75, right? Now, to change 0.75 into a percent, which is what we're looking for, so 75.75 into centimeters, which is what we're looking for, we're going to take 0.75 and multiply it by 100, because there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. That will give us the amount of centimeters, which is 75. So 75% of 1 meter is 75 centimeters. Number 15. Number 15 says there are blank inches in a foot. Most of you guys know that's 12. And then for number 16, it says there are blank inches in 25% of a foot. So in order to set this up, let's take the second part. So 25% of a foot. So 25%, 25 over 100, change it into a decimal. Okay, 0.25. And so since we want to take 25% of that foot, we're going to go 0.25 times 1, which is 0.25. Okay, now to convert 0.25, okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply that by 12 because we're converting, right? So there's 12 inches in a foot. So what we're going to do is we're going to find 25% of a foot. So now we're going to go 0.25 times our conversion factor of 12, because there's 12 inches in a foot, and that is equal to 3. So there are 3 inches in 25% of a foot. That's it. If you guys need any help, make sure you ask. And that's all I got. Mr. Burns, out.